That would actually be pretty disgusting if that was like his intent.
That's pretty cool, man. That's the next level.
That's like, that is way next level.
Yeah, that's some
not
meta
the kind
stuff,
of things
man.
that I consider until I see them happen. So it's in fact going to be Rogue. Both players now playing Miracle. And this is a very swingy style of mirror match in that Auctioneer is incredibly important, but also equally as important is your early game development.
Yep.
Because one of the ways you win this mirror match is by applying a lot of pressure. And then a second component that's also very important is whether or not you draw your one conceal.
Yeah. Well, they both, I mean, two SI agents, as well as the two Gadget Zane Auctioneers in hand. I mean, second Gadget Zane Auctioneer, I wouldn't imagine that's something you really want to see at this point. But
yeah, Gadget Zane Auctioneer is not a card he wants to see at this point.
Realz is going to have the coin agent though next turn, which is pretty nice if he does want to go that route. Because, I mean, he can play the SI agent, but drawing the Earthring Farce here obviously is a nicer play because he doesn't have the activatable yet for that SI agent. He obviously wants to combo it if he can. Now, if you're Realz here, what's the move? Do you think you just go with the Deadly Poison and hero power up, Deadly Poison, and trade?
There's a lot of things to think about. And, again, it's sort of a testament to these players being practiced.
Yep.
I said that development is extremely important in this match because you need to be applying pressure.
Yep.
So that way your Leroy Jenkins can potentially become lethal before your opponents.
Yep.
Or if you have Malagos or something, again, still the damage is important. So what Realz is looking at here is not only how do I efficiently deal with this Earthen Ring Farseer, but he also wants to develop his board.
Yeah.
And what he's thinking is this sacrifice of this backstab worth the sacrifice that I would trade off in terms of life and lack of board development. And I would like to see him play SI7 agent here, but I certainly can understand using Dagger and Poison instead.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tough decision because obviously you would like to get the Battle Cry from the combo from the SI agent. It's very nice, but looks like he's going to go, okay, so he's just going to backstab and do it that way, so which is very nice.
Yeah, I like this play a lot.
Yeah. Definitely makes sense. And I mean, it is going to leave him with the 3/3 on the board. He doesn't take any damage to his life total. I think it's the better move,
Ooh, Shiv's in a very interesting draw for this hand.
Yeah.
So otherwise, not a lot of options, but now suddenly you're looking at a couple of different ways to approach this turn.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he goes about it. Looking like he wants to go Blood Mage Shiv.
I love Blood Mage Shiv a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be able to, he can trade it next turn if he doesn't kill it off, but he obviously will. Either way, he's going to get 2 card draws.
Right.
Pretty nice.
With the way his hand's constructed also, with the 2 Gadget Zane Auctioneers, he wants to really dig for preparations, which are going to help him find other spells.
Yeah.
But this message that he may send to Realz here is that my hand's really weak and I need to sacrifice this to draw cards.
Yep.
So Realz may not be anticipating Gadget Zane Auctioneer here and actually may read that in the reverse state.
Looks like he wants to coin out perhaps the Drake, I would imagine. Yeah,
I like Azure Drake here a lot.
Yeah, I think the Drake really makes sense. He's going to pick up Shadow Step. I mean, dropping the Auctioneer on a turn like that, it could get removed next turn before you're really able to do anything with it. So I think this is very, very nice. I'm going to pick up the Sap, but it'll be interesting to see how he wants to go about this. I mean,
this is a really tough turn.
Yeah, I mean, you can hero power up, take out the SI agent,
right?
But if you sap the Zerdrake, you give him another card draw, which is such a problem.
Your hand at this point is so clunky too. Like, you don't want to play a Gadget Zane Auctioneer because it's just going to get run into. So I don't think that sap's the wrong play by any means because this actually isn't too terribly horrible because if he manages to put together like a 1-cost spell from the top of his deck or like a backstab or something, he's going to be able to respond really well. But this is going to be
the wrong
turn.
play, but not the play you're hoping for.
Right, and this is going to be the big turn for Realz now because his opponent has used a sap instead of an eviscerate, which has kind of given you the clear path to play this Auctioneer now. It sends a really huge message when Puffin has to use a sap instead of using something like an eviscerate. So he feels very comfortable playing this Auctioneer. And now Puffin really on the back foot. Again, an unfortunate pan out, which what started with like what looked like a really good hand has suddenly turned into an extremely clunky draw. And now you're facing down this Gadget Zane Auctioneer.
Yeah, I mean, what do you even do here? I mean, it's like you could just drop your own Gadget Zane Auctioneer, but you have 2 of them. I mean, it just doesn't seem like there's a lot of good plays for him on this turn. I mean,
it's really rough. I mean,
you don't really want to blow your Edwin Van Cleef. You can't really combo it very well at all just yet.
So many.
Seems like a tough play.
This isn't even really a spot where like you have a good play to make. It's just like which is the least bad play.
Yeah,
I think that this is the least bad play. If I could pick one, that was, by the way. But to that same effect, you're really opening yourself up. If your opponent's got a lot of removal spells, very difficult to recover from this situation. But I don't think he has another option.
Yeah, it's one of those things where he's just kind of forced into the corner. It looks like it's going to be the Deadly Poison. He does draw Earthling Force here. I mean, he can go for the Eviscerate, and now he can just weapon into into the SI
Now
agent.
catches in Auctioneer doing what he does.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is getting so out of control for Realz. I mean, Realz is just taking a huge lead, it looks like, at this point. I mean, he has so many more cards. His Auctioneer is doing work, and Puffin's just being forced into these positions where he's having to make plays that aren't very good. I mean, he has to drop his Auctioneer now. Doesn't really have anything to do with it. I mean, he could cold-blooded or something, but it's like, what's that going to do?
Gosh, this is an ugly spot. That one Cold Blood, probably one of the worst draws in your deck at the point. At this point, anyway. He can cycle it to draw a card, but is that even what you want to do?
I mean, I don't even think it's worth it. It's he's probably just going to hero power up because I just don't think there's anything you could do. It's kind of funny sometimes because when you're looking at it, they're both basically got the same life and everything, but it's just okay. So he's actually going to go for that, and he does draw the Eviscerate. So that's something. He can actually kill it off. That's a very nice top deck there.
Yeah, drawing Eviscerate there is certainly one of the best cards in the deck.
That has to be the best draw you could have in that situation. I mean, he had exactly 2 mana left to be able to take that out is pretty ideal.
I think it's actually
there's the conceal.
Ooh. I think it's actually what he was thinking about is how do I win this game if I don't draw Eviscerate here? And I think the answer is he doesn't.
Yeah.
So I mean, for bad respect.
Time to
for
roll the
play.
dice.
I like that one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's definitely makes sense. And I'm gonna be dropping. But
There's that Azure Drake that got sapped back. And again, another clean turn for Realz. He's just drawn so many cards off this Auctioneer that every single play he makes is going to be a huge play. And ooh, this is a really interesting play. I'm curious what his plan is here.
yeah, I would have thought he'd just drop a Loot Hoarder or something. Honestly,
Does he think that preparation's a Shadow Step maybe? 4, 5, 6, 7, 12 from Leroy, 19.
interesting.
That's a really weird play. I'm curious what his justification is there.
Yeah, I would have just assumed that it was going to be just the Loot Hoarder for another card draw, but. Auctioneer does come down. He's going to cold blood it. He just needs the card draws. He has to do something.
Right.
Draws the Assassin's Blade here, but doesn't have the mana for it. So, I mean, dagger up, play this LC deckhand. I mean,
Here we go.
do you even bother? He's just going to Blade Player. You get another card draw.
I think you got to just draw the cards at this point because you want to dig for stuff like preparation and hope that those preparations can dig you into super efficient cards.
Yeah.
So maybe I just did my counting wrong here. 4, 7, looks like again 19 damage. 2021 potential damage here from Realz. But despite that, a pretty commanding position. You have 2 Earthling Farseers in your hand, which are going to put you again way out of range of a burst from a small hand.
Yeah.
He's got another Auctioneer now.
Yeah. He's basically, this game has been going everything he wants is pretty much been happening.
Where do you begin?
Yeah.
You got everything.
I know.
It really looks like he wants to prep the Shiv. Is sort of what it looks like, but does he want to gamble for the win this turn that way?
Maybe doing it. Yeah,
Wow.
he's going to prep the Shiv and gets the SI agent, so he's going to have that combo damage. Going to go for the Blade Flurry now, and we'll see.
So he's looking to just clear the board and then establish. He's going to go for the win next turn, I guess. Yeah. So again, it was sort of tough to put together a combination of cards that aren't winning for Realz here again, just because he's been so far ahead.
And he can just double heal, back up to 28 HP, has full board control, has the combo SI agent, he has the Leroy in his hand, he has everything, man.
Yeah, on the back of an early Auctioneer and a pretty clunky hand from Puffin, a massive advantage has been put together now here. And what do you do if you're Puffin? Auctioneer isn't very appealing, but
it looks like he's going to go for it. You can obviously Shiv and get a double card draw, you could Fan of Knives, but none of these are really ideal. He's just kind of fishing, hoping he's going to be able to get something useful. Shadow Step. I mean, he can draw another card if he wants. Deadly Poison.
Yeah, those are not the draws he wanted. He's definitely looking for preparation. He wanted a preparation for that Fan of Knives, but as it stands, I don't see diffusing this board position.
Yeah,
and again,
looking like he's
ton
out
of
luck.
damage in Realz' hand at the moment. It looks like this game is a done deal as far as I'm concerned. There's his last 2 points of mana, and that's going to do it. Game 2 is going to go over to Realz on the back of a solid Miracle draw and even more solid play.
And here's
you know what? He actually doesn't want to show this Leroy here.
Yeah. That's funny. You can just use the combo to finish him off instead.
I like that a lot because now your opponent doesn't know if you're playing Malagos or if you're playing
That's
Leroy.
actually really smart, yeah. They're really smart. And like we talked about, just thinking, a step ahead there is Realz. He's going to be able to time it up. And it is 1-1 now on the back of that rogue victory. So Puffin now, without the rogue deck, he does have